Welcome to Cohort 5. LRon here with part 55 of my Minecraft 123. So apparently it's a little more complicated than I previously thought. When I went to render Cohort 4, the audio was great, but the visual was surprisingly a disaster. And oddly enough, if I take the audio that I produced in that separate project, which was great, and then moved it into the original project. So just superimpose it there and render it first generation instead of doing a second generation rendering, and then the problems did not appear. So that was kind of weird. I guess that means I'll probably need to use a external source for recording the voiceovers in the future when I do my 4cam gambit, if that garbly ends up continuing to occur. So what happened just there was I was checking the controls for the crouch button that the internet loves to... not the crouch button, the sprint button that the internet loves to talk about, but I don't think sprinting exists in 123. It's very possible that that got added later on. So when people talk about, oh, sprinting does this, sprinting does that, it's like, well, what the hell are you guys even talking about? Alright, so now we're back to the Wizarding Tower. We're going to place up a bunch of wall and then place up a bunch of those glass panes as well. I kind of start off doing the dumb man's approach, and I continue doing various different dumb man approaches, but I eventually get a little smarter about it. So I think I end up just going nuts and just build it up as high as I care to build it for the time being. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's probably going to take a few hearts. Alright. Ouch. And then, of course, there's the whole problem that, melons don't provide that much food. Yeah, melons actually kind of suck. I mean, yeah, they're pretty abundant, but you have to be eating them constantly. And, frankly, they don't taste that good. I can tell. Anywho, so then I start taking more civilized approaches, going with shorter steps and whatnot. Then I'll get even smarter and go only 2 blocks at a time, because that's what I can place without having to fall down. But we're not quite there yet. I think I figured that out along the ways here somewhere. And eventually we will speed this up as well, because this is not the most exciting thing in the world, and we've actually got pretty long cohorts this time. This cohort's going to consist of 15 videos. I don't do any 4cam this time because everything's kind of new territory. The main theme of this cohort is going to be around experience farming and enchanting. So we are going to create our spawner farms, and of course the zombie one works out great, and I kind of have some critical design flaws, and even going against the original design in the first place, due to absent-mindedness. I think I ended up stopping midway through making the spider one, which messed things up a bit. Because, as I've probably mentioned before, my memory kind of sucks, byproduct of dementia and whatnot. Byproduct of schizophrenia. Yep. Anyways, night's coming, but it's not going to let us go to sleep just yet, so we're going to make some torches, light this place up just as an insurance policy, because it's nice to have an insurance policy, especially when it's so damn cheap. Insurance in real life sucks because, It's an arm and a leg, and usually it costs less to just pay for whatever you're doing in the long run. Because, I mean, let's face it, you're never going to get in a car crash, so what's the point? You know, if you got cancer, you're going to die anyways, regardless of your treatment. So, why go for health care? Yeah, all of these insurances are just scams. Don't even get me started on blackjack insurance. Anyways, kind of lost my train of thought. But in any case, we're going to make ourselves a lot of glass panes. Glass panes are nice because you get 16 of them for the price of 6, so we're getting basically 10 freebies, and it's a little dark down here, so I'm going to need to place some torches over here to prevent that from happening again. Alright, so glass panes essentially work like fences, only they're short enough for you to jump over. And they're fragile as hell, so try not to accidentally punch them or swing at them, or, whatever destructive measure tickles your fancy. So as you see, these things are like super thin, so we're getting... I don't know how we're only getting 16 out of them by using 6 whole blocks, though, because when you stop and think about it, 6 of these things probably could have just as easily come from one of them, so I think this recipe's bull. But in any case, it is cost efficient for us, even if they are gypping us, because we're getting 10 more squares worth of coverage than what we would do if we just went with the solid blocks. And so given the fact that we are kind of on like a tight rope, I have to do things a little more slowly than I would if we were dealing with, like, say, the cobblestone. So I don't have to worry about accidentally diagonaling a bit. But in any case, we have reached the points that we've defined as our upper bounds. So, yeah, I didn't really need to do that. Because apparently that's just gonna be a freebie there. The problem is the pane system and the fence system kind of has some oddball system about it, where it will kind of just spawn some out of thin air as a connector like that. But in any case, we are probably going to speed this up once I fall down. And, oh yeah, I think the one extra height kind of scared me a bit, so I decided to make a little bit of roof, and then while I'm at it, gonna kind of staircase my way down a bit so I don't have to take a ton of damage. But I'll have to eat some watermelon first. And yeah, we're gonna need to clean this up later. This is kind of completely unsafe having all these just sitting around here like that. Probably opening the door for mobs to spawn on those because our candles aren't up there, so they're not providing any light to prevent spawning on those squares. But spoiler alert, I end up kind of abandoning this place in favor of making a second enchanting table close to our spawner, because eventually I realize, what am I doing? This place is 300 miles away from my main base, and I mean, yeah, we've got the nether to speed that up, but, running or even minecarting through 2 miles of nether to get here is still very time consuming. That's it for this video. I'll see you next video.